There was a unity ticket, and it appears as though that has imploded, and there was rival bids, so it seems like there was some infighting inside the other side, and so that collapse of that joint ticket, again, another disappointment for Chinese President Xi Jinping. Is there any way for his candidates to recover between now and the election, or is this is there still a fight that's going to be happening over the next month or so?
Well, the proposed joint ticket between the two other parties, that is KMT, the Kuomintang, and TPP, it's actually, they were brokered by the CCP proxy. The CCP want a joint ticket, and because these two parties are pro-Beijing, very friendly to Beijing, and so they want to have a joint ticket to defeat the pro-America candidate. That's William Lai, but that joint ticket fell apart because there was some political infight. So that's another bad news for Xi Jinping, but good news for the Taiwan people. And at the same time, the CCP authority is issuing warning to the Taiwanese people: if you chose DPP presidential candidate, you're choosing war. I mean, Kathleen, that's a blatant threat.
It is. You can pick that president, but we're gonna rain down on you, and at least unlike Hamas, they're giving him a warning. If you do this, we're going to come do this. But that is not how we should conduct ourselves in the world. And it is kind of like, it reminds me, having raised a bunch of children, it's like the spoiled brat syndrome. Like, if you don't give me what I want, I'm going to have a temper tantrum. And I think that the Taiwanese are staying true to their independence, and nothing upsets Xi Jinping more, because he wants one China, and this does not help him get. And he really loses a lot of power inside the CCP if he doesn't deliver on that, because this has been his mission all along to take back over Taiwan. And I think it's really important that we as America continue to support our allies, and Taiwan is an ally of the United States. So what do we do to stop this corruption? I think it's, thinking co-opting our American universities for the purpose of the CCP. So please share, because this was not surprising, but now more evidence for the fact that this is happening.
Absolutely. This is extremely disturbing, and it really threatens our national security, because the CCP is using the American state-of-art research institution and professors and researchers to come up with the technology and innovation to modernize the People's Liberation Army, the CCP's military, so that they can continue to expand globally and outplace America as a world power. And so they don't have the technology know-how, but they can use the American research institutions like UC Berkeley, MIT, and Stanford, and because all of these elite American universities have become the training ground or innovation incubator for the CCP's military modernization. And I really, really applaud Congressman Mike Gallagher to start name the names, because we know that the CCP has been stealing our intellectual property, and we know that the Five Eye Intel chief met a couple months ago in Silicon Valley and warned about the private industry, about the CCP's stealing Americans' technology. But now we know, okay, it's UC Berkeley, it's MIT, it's Harvard, it's Cornell, and so they've been partnering with the Chinese universities to do the collaboration for the CCP's military, like a patent and innovation. That's very scary.
Well, and I think it's great because Gallagher's warning that to university administrators all over the country that oversight is coming.
so according to the Foreign Affairs, the House Foreign Affairs Committee, the PRC, the CCP is the largest source of foreign donations to U.S. colleges since 2013. And then the tuition paid by the Chinese students, a lot of them have rich father working inside the CCP government, is worth more than $12 billion per year. So that's a very significant revenue stream.
Well, I was just going to say that Cornell, Harvard, and MIT raked in $13 billion in undocumented contributions from foreign donors. $13 billion.
And so I have a few more, statistics to share.
Yes.
And so even some private donors, who make donations to the universities in this country, they're actually not private. They're tied with the CCP, and they want to use money to influence the schools. And so right now, there are over 150 CCP-controlled student organizations across the American universities and colleges, and these people are taking orders directly from the CCP. For example, in San Francisco, these students, they take orders from the CCP consulates and the embassies to organize counter-protest against us, and they're the ones who are being paid out by the CCP. So imagine these students are being paid, but they're doing the dirty work on behalf of the CCP on the U.S. soil. So I think we need, very strong oversight on U.S. colleges and universities.
Disappointing to me because we always bought American cars, but now American cars are being made with a lot of foreign parts. So, again, Representative Gallagher called out the continuation of Ford. And the organization, I believe, it's CATL. I'll say cattle. I don't think that's how it's pronounced, but reports that Ford is deepening its partnership with cattle despite its ties to forced labor, and it is extremely disappointing that we are using the CCP's funded organization to make American car parts. And so, what did you think about that? And shame on Ford.
It is a real shame because we already know that when American companies shift their manufacturing job to China, they're using the slave labor, from the Uyghurs concentration camp, and it's the violation of the human rights, and it's also sponsoring a genocidal regime. And Ford is a very reputable American, company with a long history. And so they're going to deepen the partnership. And I wonder what makes them want to do so. I mean, does it mean that they cannot find the right worker in America, or they don't have the resources in this country? I think America is the most abundant country on the face of the earth. I cannot think of any reason why they must do business with the Communist China, knowing that, doing so is to sponsor a genocidal regime. So this is a huge, huge disappointment. And again, what can we do about it? And Kathleen, I know you're running for Congress, and I hope that more members in, our lawmakers and in Congress and Senate will start do something about it, because people have been talking this for so many years that American people are losing their good manufacturing job, and then Chinese people are suffering from the human rights abuse. But what can we do about it?
Well, we have to stop incentivizing manufacturing in foreign countries. It is okay to do that, but not with human atrocities. We have just witnessed some of the most horrific executions, murders, if you will, and it would be like putting a plant in somewhere for Hamas to run. To me, it's just insane that we would do this. Cattle is they make batteries, right? Is that so? These are for electric cars, I'm assuming.
Yes, absolutely. I want to talk about cattle because the English name is cattle, but actually the Chinese name is named after a small town where the CCP leader Xi Jinping spent significant years before he rose to the power. So this is 100% CCP, and cattle has a global mission to use the resources from outside of China to build its own business. So that's economic aggression. And I just don't understand why the governor of Michigan didn't see this, unless they're being bought out by the CCP.
Okay. The concern to the U.S. government side is that they're trying to build a domestic battery market with Chinese plants in the U.S. So it's not bad enough that we're going over there to manufacture allegedly American-made cars in a foreign country, when we could have American auto workers. And look at, we just had the strike, right? But now the Chinese want to come here and make their products and again weaken our American markets. Is that the right way to go?
Yes, and then please consider any CCP-owned or even joint venture companies on the U.S. soil. You can consider them a CCP cell, because the party will control that company in terms of the personnel, training, and that's exactly what happened to the American companies doing business in China, that the CCP will instill a cell within the company, and then they will watch what people are saying, how you think, and then they will report you. And then you must comply with the CCP rule and propaganda. So imagine, once you have a joint venture with a CCP-controlled company on the U.S. soil, say in the great state of Michigan, that means all the workers working in that factory will be controlled indirectly by the CCP in terms of, the speech. They will watch your speech, and they will control your thoughts. And so that's very, very dangerous. That's like importing a CCP cell into a U.S. state.
So China has about 45% of the world's mining rights for lithium right now, and 70% of refining capacity for the naturally occurring metal. So 45% is not half, but close, and 70% is definitely more than half. So what are we doing so that they don't have 100% of the products for this?
Well, we shouldn't be providing them with the technology, because without technology, they cannot produce anything. But the thing is that all the technology that CCP has been using are supplied by the U.S. companies. The U.S. companies are forced to surrender the technology in order to gain access to the China market. And once they're in China market, they're being bullied, their office being raided, and then once they give up the technology, the CCP just kicked them out of the market, and the CCP create many Me Too products to replace those American companies. So I think that the CCP always talk about win-win, but actually for American companies, it's lose-lose.
Right.
So really, we have already seen so many failures. And so I really don't understand why there still so many American companies want to continue that path to failure.